Hello, Grand Rising to everybody out there. How's it going? Professor Fun 101, trying a new little setup here. Got a logo. Doink. Got one of those bad boys now. Got a thumbnail. Oh, cool. So what do we have in store for today? Well, as you can see, we got the JBL5 blaring some music here. Bumping it very softly. However you'd like to put it. We got a few Orochimarus over here. I'm trying to be smoking them down, and I am currently doing civilian disclosure. It is 7:27 a.m. February 3rd, 2025. Welcome to PARACONOMY Inc. We're starting an early broadcast today, and we are totally just kind of vibing and writing our own little story. Catch you guys up. I'm currently like digesting like 1,000,000 pizza rolls, so the look isn't that good. But in that sense, I am also like devouring life as we know it, and making sure that status quo remains nominal, so we can create the consistency to bring you the civilian disclosure that will bring you your better potentials and your best properties forth, so that you can make better decisions in life and live a life worth living. We're doing pretty well. 7:28 a.m. today. We are above the bar like always. We're having a little bit of at the bar-ness right now, as we're currently pushing through a little bit below the bar. The margins mostly at the bar though. Food for thought. Now I have several shamanistic projects that I'm currently walking my way through, being my mushroom project, my Silawaska, and another LSA project with the sassafras tea that I have going on. Hello chat rate. Cool. To induce different types of MAOIs and serotonin distribution for my native status, in order to create diplomacy for the scientific study on non-human entities. And if it turns out that we are finding more out about our divine lineages and our manifest destiny between here and there on a few different mushrooms and different things like that, it's going to really help us cue into the right taste for civilian disclosure at the right time. 7:30 a.m. February 3rd, 2025. So it's a few steps to the right of exciting in terms of being able to party. However, it is sort of looking like it is becoming more of a promising venture for people to be able to utilize for their better goods. Let's see. Okay, we'll figure this out. We'll figure this bad boy out here. We got a little Spotify playing. Let's see. There we go. There we go. So we got this going on. Alright. So that'll catch you up a little bit with the civilian disclosure today. We are pretty much at the bar with that, and because of that, we've raised above the bar here with congruency. So below the bar, we are currently hitting a bit of questionabilities and just post processing, kind of prosing, and a little legacy here on the congruency here. Holy cow. Barf City. I ate too many pizza rolls and I'm just like kind of like vibing and like trying to not to like throw up my freaking belly right here. Yeah, I just wanted to check in and see how the new setup was gonna look and kind of like tap in and see how everything's going for everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day so far. I have been studying a little bit of my music business book for some business models that I can help attribute to some of the wayfaring, and also a really solid read through by Nelson George, Hip Hop America, and reading all sorts of things about this 70s and 80s and hip hop culture, and a little classic music business handbook to help emulate some of the motions towards dealings and systemic design on any of the case legislators that are leading us through some of the tighter details that I can kind of polish out with subtext and regenerating some of the by law standards in order to create that little bit of equity and balance there on the docket for PARACONOMY Inc. So that has been a pretty positive read through so far. And figured we're just gonna set up some more things. We're gonna bite your styles and stuff on YouTube and try to figure out if I can't finesse my way up and over this some of this barriering here that I've got going on. What's up, guys? How's it going, YouTube? Doing a live stream today, and it's been a few days. It's been a good weekend so far. I haven't really modeled it after anything too treacherous. I've been taking notes and writing and reading and arguing with Doop Doop. So Doop Doop is like kind of trying to figure out what in the world they want to do, as I've been reoccurring and reestablishing what's happening in my own personal life and how any of it's been affected paranormally and how people got themselves caught up in the current climate of our situation. That being said, we just recently tonight just looked at some of the dream journals, and it appears that one of the dream logs that I have entered in is a slight prophetic prediction on my ex-partner Kate Vogel, my late partner, who is now passed, and it seems as though I may or may not have had a clairvoyant prophetic dream involving a small detail of death surrounding my old college at the Plymouth dorms basement next to the tetanus shot doctor's office, bathrooms and elevators where we used to hang out. And it sounds like there's a small closet full of death in this dream. So creepy, I know. But I have clairvoyancy and prophetic dreams, one of which being a ghost surfacing and completely tearing away a television from the fabric of time-space reality at a Dakota Edwards house with a Cassandra suite, walking me through a Silent Hill video game. And as I'm calling Cassandra in the dream, it's a long dream. It's a long series of dreams as well. But as I'm calling Cassandra on how to beat this Silent Hill level I get stuck in, there are some very strange coincidences as the TV goes through. And from what I can recall, there is a split moment where the level gets like auto-saved, and then all of a sudden the TV disappears, and like I'm like, Dakota, you have a ghost. And Dakota's like, no, 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 this happens like all the time. I'm like, no, Dakota, you have a ghost in here. And we're like walking up the stairs down into their living. It's this weird like underground world where we live together, and there's like a living room, and there's surround sound in the living room, and all of a sudden there's a high pitched tinnitus like tone, like mosquito bite tone, and I'm like, I hear it, and it goes like through my like ears, and I'm like, Dakota, you've got a ghost. And Dakota's like, nah, 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 that's just the surround sound, this happens all the time, and just kept writing it off. And well, now I'm kind of wondering if like maybe what I've been saying is actually as prophetic and goddess like status as I've been pertaining to. And well, it seems like this could go a little bit further into court on different people at different points. We'll see. We'll see. We have a whole world of civilian disclosure that has yet to open up, and a whole business of spiritual auditing to repertoire on people's experiences to see if they have clairvoyancy or alien DNA, RNA, and or otherworldly communications. So if this perchance is an if this is a excuse me, if this is an interdimensional topic, which excuse me as I burp, as it seems like it could be, well, excuse me, as I rick my way through this, it seems like it could be quite the adventurous design. So we're just gonna leave it on the books here, the right ways, and it's basically it's 7:39 this morning. I'm kind of rewriting some things and trying to post my way through some of the journaling here, and see if it isn't worth kind of reading towards some of the clairvoyancy, because I've had a few dreams, Dollar General dreams, even if you have those. There's one where I meet up with somebody and they like drop something off for me. And well, there's like a couple of weird coincidences in some of these dreams because, well, it seems like there's this little bit of doop that's left over on clairvoyancy issues, and whether or not I was human trafficked and roofalined across the country, which it's starting to look like I may have been like pushed and then utilized as a beacon for some sort of otherworld like antennae kind of like undoing of whatever it is that I've like helped like surface into this way of frame. People don't quite understand where they're at on the paranormal activity that's also being filtered in through the AI because there is a lot of this light speed enigmatic technology, 5D, 3D, transmutation and manifestation. So if people are just like starting to wrap their heads around this part of metaphysics where they start to have more of a keying in of information and sourcing that information towards paranormal experiences and activity, that there is a company, boop, Paranormal Economy or Paraconomy, that you can kind of utilize to say, I don't want to say embezzle, but you get the idea. There's space for the enigmatic, and we can help you keep track of your experiences at Paraconomy Inc., where you can utilize the bar, and it'll help you create the surfacing of your own positive and negative, so we can help you keep track of whether you've been naughty or nice for Christmas time. And well, we're gonna make sure that everybody has a good Christmas time, and everybody can do whatever they need to do, good or bad. So that way, and that way we just keep things under the belt in that sense, so people can kind of get what they need to and get where they need to. Um, so like, yeah, they could get what they need and where they need to get. I don't know. I digress. I'm starting to hyperbole all over the sauce on this bad boy here and this Nelson George thing. I also grabbed a little Food of the Gods here by Terence McKenna, just so I could reference a little bit of anthropological. Ooh, yeah. So there's some really good references for some things here. Ooh, some really twisted things. Here's a good one. So let's do coffee or chocolate. Looked pretty decent. The introduction of chocolate into Europe is almost no more than a coda to craze for caffeine stimulation that began with the Industrial Revolution. Chocolate made from the ground beans of a native Amazonian tree, Theobroma cacao, contains only small amounts of caffeine, but is rich in caffeine's near relative theobromine. Theobromine. Both are chemicals with close relatives that occur androgynously in normal human metabolism. Like caffeine, theobromine is a stimulant, and the addictive potential of chocolate is significant. Cacao trees have been introduced into central Mexico from tropical South America centuries before arrival in the Spanish conquistadors. They had a major sacramental role in Maya and Aztec religion. The Maya also used cacao beans as an equivalent of money. The Aztec ruler Montezuma was said to be seriously addicted to ground cacao. He drank his chocolate unsweetened in a cold water infusion. A mixture of ground chocolate and psilocybin containing mushrooms was served to the guests at a coronation feast of Montezuma II in 1502. Cortez was informed of the existence of cacao by his mistress, a Native American woman named Donna Marina, who had been given to Cortez as one of the 19 young women offered in tribute by Montezuma. Assured by Donna Marina, the cacao was a powerful aphrodisiac. Cortez was eager to begin cultivation of the plant. He wrote to the Emperor Charles V, "On the lands of one farm, 2,000 trees have been planted. The fruits are similar to almonds and are sold in powdered state." Shortly thereafter, chocolate was imported into Spain, where it was soon extremely popular. Nevertheless, the spread of chocolate was slow. Perhaps so many new stimulants were then vying for European attention. Chocolate did not appear in Italy or the Low Countries until 1606. It reached France and England only in the 1650s, except for a brief period during the reign of Frederick II, where it became the favorite vehicle for poisons and used by professional pioneers. Chocolate had steadily increased in popularity, and annual tonnage, lots of chocolate. It's extraordinary that in the relatively short span of 2 centuries, 4 stimulants, sugar, tea, coffee, and chocolate, could have emerged out of local obscurity and become a basis for vast mercantile empires, which by the greatest military powers ever known to that time and supported by the newly reintroduced practice of slavery, such as the power of the cup that cheers but not inebriates. Cool. Some people just ate a lot of chocolate back in the day, and they utilized it as like a different kind of coffee just to tap in. Contra coffee with a very French like background off of coffee. That's pretty neat. Oh, see, I can't talk about coffee right now. I've just basically been living coffee to coffee for the past like several days. I've had a pretty good zoop. I got to hang out a little bit with Lucy, and we kind of been spitballing and keeping ourselves safe and protected from some of the prying eyes in my life, in order to kind of outsmart some of the people who are terrorizing me. So right now, it seems like there's a good handful of people responsible for the triangulation against my friend's passing, and my keying into some of the enigmatic possibilities that they're just like they're just toying with it, pretending like it's no big deal, but they'll break up my family, and like my family like broke it up as well. They're all breaking each other up, but they're all using each other in weird ways too. So like that's where I've cut a lot of ties from my friends and family recently because of all of the court that they've been sending me through. You can go back a few episodes and kind of source out some information. Lots of really good stuff on this channel. And I want to continue to plan on making some really solid content as we move forward towards civilian disclosure, seeing as my life has now been put on blast in like some of the most bizarre, flamboyant ways here. So we're just gonna kind of keep rolling with some of that goodness and like see where it takes us here. It's been like 6 days. It's been a good 16 minutes, it feels like, but it's realistically been several days. It's a good week since my last like keying in the right ways here. I can't say I've had a whole lot going on since the past few weeks where we had more topics. It's been a lot of, I've had things happen, but I've written a lot of it down, and I've been attempting to quell some of the chaos and the turbulence that some of my enemies want to keep on pretending is like a-okay to do. So while they'll be doing that, they'll also be racking it up on company property. Excuse me. Gross. Yeah. So like, yeah, just came on YouTube to burp a bunch in your face, read some stuff, and like continue on some of the legacy on creating that dichotomizing and compare and contrast of the facts and the evidence on speculation, and see if we can't find a good bearing on what is paranormal and what isn't. So that way we can kind of make sure we're practicing the right type of practitioner work as a shaman and as a clairvoyant goddess. So I'm kind of going through my thing. Isn't that cool? Yeah. So like, yeah, I could always go into that if you guys want to. My transitioning and how that's like been affecting my shamanism. Yes, I'm trans. I've filed into the extreme feminism, and then back again, and kind of like sit in the middle on some things in the right way. I now identify more like non-binary. Um, but there was a nice little hike there where I was doing a lot more girly stuff. So like that's been super helpful in balancing some of my toxic masculinity, as my late partner probably would have put it at one point in time. We had an abusive relationship, and it wasn't very fun, but it did open a lot of demons and paranormal experiences that I was able to go on my own journey and share a lot of it with my own family and my friends. Some of which that they haven't really paid a lot of attention to until recent. That things are starting to go a little bit too awry in my life. That they might be like opening up a whole nexium of potential on what they actually have engineered towards my life at all. So like as parents and as like friends and family, it seems like a lot of people wanted to get in key with whatever it was that I had to offer without ever having to actually address it with me. So 753 to 325 2025, it's bounced around on the wrong people for so much consistency. It got the whole neighborhood involved. So now my whole neighborhood and my whole apartment complex, basically with some of the specific people, um, have been opening up all sorts of different dramatic kinds of pandering, and they're just being a lot of pills and annoying people. So like at least status quo on some of the people that I have around here. They have like some things going on in their lives. We're trying to figure out who's dating who or who likes who the most. And well, let's just face it. Like I've done a lot of work for a lot of these people, and I think they're having a hard time coming to grips with the fact that they can't undo things that they did in front of me, and they want more, but they're also ashamed because they can't get any more. They did a lot of things that can't be like undone. So, in that sense, it is gonna be a lot of fun to write and rewrite about this stuff with people, and yeah, that's really where things are at right now. Let's see where we're at on time. I'm gonna check in here. We got a nice 30-minute broadcast. Um, Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's pretty much all I've got going on for the time being. I might roll here a little bit more for a second. Um, I got a whole life here that I gotta kind of piece together. Let me tap in and tune into the right things here, so that way I am clear of things. Here we go. We're gonna bring the music back up a little bit again. Um, yeah, bring it up just a little bit there, and then go back here. I'm actually gonna go kind of take a break here for a second and go get myself reallocated on things. I'll be right back for you guys here at Paraconomy Inc. Civilian Disclosure. We're gonna go ahead and get time rolling. I'm gonna go set this green tea in here, make a little green tea latte. And I'm gonna go pee pee. Go pee pee. Cool. They want to fight. Doop Doop wants to fight here at PARACONOMY INC. Doop Doop wants to fight. They said act your age. So now I'm acting my age. I'm 34 years old. How's it going? Going on to 35 for the next 12 months or so. So like 11 now. Oh, 11 months left till my birthday. Well, yeah, but we're cycling through like a fiscal year. It's not really my birthday until like 2020. What are we at? 2029. Yeah. So like in 2029, I can kind of roll over finally and get my birthday. Because we'll celebrate it. Well, they'll probably expedite that timeline to sooner than later, more than likely. Ow. As I bump my teeth on this. Excuse me. PARACONOMY INC. 7:59 a.m. February 3rd, 2025. Yeah, that's kind of just like the thing. Is like, yeah, trans girl. Let's see. Oh yeah, so like I'm trans, and I was housing several trans girls and trans women, so and hooking them up with each other and food, housing, jobs, the works, clothing, bathing, a bed, all sorts of things. Anything I could do, I helped get them all. I was their counselors and sponsors, and their like babysitters and grandma and like all sorts of other things. Before I was ever their girlfriends or partners in that sense. But fortunately, you know, things have happened and things have changed in my life in accordance to the behavioralism that they've exhibited and what I've been able to display in what's correct to do, politically speaking, and what is also maybe less than desirable behavior by a fellow citizen, let alone somebody who thinks that they're your partner or spouse and everything they're entitled to. So that's where they think that living in my cerebral cortex and my frontal lobe here, and into like things that they want to see in my third eye and my pineal gland. They're always monitoring some of the things, and they put in weird suggestions like that. They're just really manipulative narcissists that are looking for some playback on the rigmarole of scapegoating and getting somebody caught up in a system so that in their head somebody has to go to jail, somebody has to be poor. It might as well be the person that I pick next. So like that's sort of what they're going for. They are doing a 19 keys on it, and it does kind of seem like some otherworldly interdimensionality type of clausing in spiritual practitioner work and like telepathic chaos. So in the realm of telepathy and Wiccan, which by the way I am grabbing a copy of the Necronomicon today, hopefully it should come in the mail, and I'll have a nice little paperback of the Necronomicon, and it should help my practitioner work as a shaman in dualism towards my Christo-Buddhism and my other interdimensional post-primordium type of pre-life epitaph thing that I've got going on, that I kind of able to pull a lot of the clairvoyant and thought-provoking predictions in and out of my life, and right here onto PARACONOMY INC at Professor Fun 101 in the sun. So, without further ado, we're going to lighten up a little chaos chaos stick here, chaos F word. I'm gonna censor myself a little bit and not say that too much going on. Not like they care that much, but food for thought. I'm gonna kind of lean into the right topics for the right vocabulary here, because I let them rip. I let those words and those insults rip, and it takes a little bit of discretion as you become a famous YouTuber, as Professor Fun. And well, that's a long way from today, but at the same time, I think we are starting on the right foot this week, 803 2025. And it has been going pretty gracefully. That being said, we'll go ahead and pull a few cards. Because YouTubers like that type of stuff right now. Really big year. So I got a new old my begin deck that I got after my Cali video. Here, let's see. So we got straight off the bat, we have Death, 68, the Death card. So like, I don't really have a way around for these guys. I just kind of, yeah, I'm probably not quite the same as like other practitioners here, because like, I think some people are like waiting for something to happen in the world. So like, we're just gonna kind of jump on in, just like some of the women in my life and NBs have been able to teach me and pull from and kind of show me their versions of whatever it is they have going on. Pizza. So they're talking about pedophilia and how pizza is a code for like Pizzagate stuff, and people want to call me a pedophile on PARACONOMY 805. Let's see. So no pedophilia here. That being said, I have been in the sex worker industry for quite some time now, and there are a lot of women without very good moms. So like, it could be a whole reason as to why some of the people have put me in this weird predicament as a clairvoyant who needs to predict the future and like help clear the freaking ice on people. Because who actually really wants to sit there and call people pedophile all day long while they're actually talking about it in a serious manner for the internet to read from? And you're gonna just get pegged with being the one who uses it as an insult, because you're not creative, you want to weaponize the word, whatever it may be. You may have a different agenda in the world as to how you want to be held and hold yourself to an accountability. Speaking of pedophilia, here's the bus. Keep the kids safe. So like, that's kind of for Christmas time. Yeah, we'll make it fun for the kids, having Christmas every day for pervert murderer Michigan time. A little pervert murderer here on the PARACONOMY Inc. line of who is the pervert murderer for pervert murderers, a holiday that we celebrate here locally in Michigan. It seems like everybody wants to know the truth about the Epstein clienteles here in our state. So I just read a little passage about P. Diddy trying to become an actor on Broadway, and he kind of succeeds, he kind of fails. But as we can see, he's busy between like 2001 and like 2005. And like, that's where he starts buying into fashion and the Ciroc lines, and other things for Sean Diddy Combs, and I just read a little excerpt about it and like some of the people that he was like kind of portraying with as an actor and a business person, because that's when his lines were high enough on the charts. So as we were talking about pizza, whenever Doop Doop or Paraconomy Inc's telepathic line or clairvoyant, or some like to say ESP, now we'll add that one in for the little devil women here. No offense, and devil men. Yeah, there's like a mixture of men and women right now. Heavy on the women, but there's a good mixture of men and women on the paraconomy line, and some of them have a problem with me. They like to recognize me as the wrong thing just because I'm trans, or that I am alive after they've so-called bludgeoned me online. So like in the dream realm, it seems like I've died, okay? But like in the real life, it seems like there is, what is this? Innate knowledge. We got like butterfly here. So it's like people want more of my innate knowledge, or they want death, but they're not getting that for free. Drama, yes. So now that I do have this innate knowledge and I'm accessing it as freely as I would like to, especially on my Paraconomy channel 809, as we can see, there's a whole outcome of being able to correctly predict the future. Something I told my parents about 10 years ago, open and honestly. Something that they just weren't able to get their hands upon as they went forward, and attempted to entrap me with some things, seeing as though they have all the money. It's the old generational welfare type of displacement on my behalf as a millennial, let alone a rare Hawaiian royalty. They also, born off res, first Hawaiian male, born off res in my family. Really, really important bloodline, and it's not getting a lot of safety precautions it's more like a conservatorship. And I'm under the impression that my family's in on this human trafficking and dark web deliberately, seeing as though my father, Daryl Costello, is an ethical hacker, and he is a part with Dakota Edwards, who have been less than ethically hacking me on the Tor browser and dark web accounts and a couple other websites. Quite openly, knowing that it is not above the bar. And so there's this little bit of discretion that goes into Paraconomy Inc. on where the bar has landed on this part of enigmatic technological advancement, and the little bit of PC culture that has attempted to squeeze me out, ruin my life, terrorize me from end to end, trying to make sure that things are poetically placed so that I have a quaint death that looks no more than an accident than it is a murder. So as we go, I've had these dreams about stalkers stalking me with these crystal knives, and they're hiding out in my parents' backyard. It's really creepy, and they're really, really sus. But spiritually speaking, it sounds like it's a big plot, because later on I have a dream where I'm in a bikini and I walk up to like my parents' house, and it's like these roof workers are dumping roof ashes into my mouth while I'm sleeping. I think I've triangulated this guy as an old relative from Laverne Schlout, And my mom knows him from when he used to roof my old house on Cliff Drive before we moved. So it's this weird legacy stalker that's been issued by my family and also parts of the US military to kind of like get in, but like after I went to a tattoo shop called Ink Therapy, I started getting stalked by like these Viking people, and this witchcraft, Wiccan, pagan like seancing and rites of passages that have been utilized in my likeness, and it's killed me off physically. And I was able to reincarnate either into a clone or my this body again, it seems like, and like they have my likeness onto the AI and the quantum technology. It's something I've talked about here before, but a little bit sort of obscure type of speculation with some loose ends that people don't want to seem to give the time of day to, and it falls onto this weird part of the AI. But I control a lot of the computer systemic AI, on the and stuff like that, whether or not I'm trying to, and the government knows, and so like the government gets it, but like you can't catch the government with anything. Excuse me. And it's like kind of weird because like the rest of my family also knows, and well, not all of them, but like there's some weird stuff going on in my family, which will kind of set off some red flags and some alerts towards the higher ups that I know about. I've known about since I lived in Chicago for about 7 years solid. And in that city, I was able to level up a long way. And, well, socially speaking, I'm kind of the whole reason. I'm like the trap N-word guy. Excuse my language. But, like, yeah, I'm like I'm, in that sense, I'm the trap leader for, like, the trans girl club that I kind of spearheaded and was railroaded by a Kat Koshik, Sammy Cockburn, and Jessica Miller, with Cassandra Sweet and a few other people, and they started sleeping with the neighbors. Offhand, and like I was trying to hang out with them, but the neighbors, I don't know, they're into like this weird supremacy of classism that bleeds into white supremacy, and they could care less about some of the weird archaic stoicisms that I've been leaking into transparency and civilian disclosure. So it's quite the conundrum that people are like currently facing and having on their hands. So that's kind of what's been going on. 8:16 a.m. 2/3/2025. So I'm over here doing these sacred synchronicities and like kind of keying in and out on. Here's my first tarot deck that Cassandra Sweet got me. Was able to like take to Cali and do a couple of seances during the writer's strike, and I'm now an uncredited writer for a lot of Hollywood disasters. Basically, I'm part of 911's B Tornado. I'm part of, let's see, there's like a couple of different episodes of different things. What's the new Will Ferrell movie? Like my likeness is in there somewhere a little bit, I guess. There's all sorts of things going on with the people they're sourcing. And on my birthday, I think it's after Kate Vogel was passing away, SZA released a music video with Ben Stiller called Drive, and broke my heart, made me cry so hard. And, well, you can go watch it. It's Ben Stiller kind of reliving a scene from my life that they were able to sort out of the AI algorithm, and that they've been writing with my likeness, but somehow also pairing with my imagination. So when I start to trigger off my imagination and put pictures in my head, people can see them. So like it's this weird, I don't know. It's part of what like 5G has going on with the telephones, and we have, well, the star at the bottom in reverse here. And like it's kind of a weird one, cuz like it's like this whole like thing, the moon in reverse, check it out. It's like this whole thing where like people can kind of like 8:18 a.m. 2:3:25 pentacle, king of pentacles in reverse. It's kind of this whole thing that people are like attempting to re-solace and kind of bask in their correctness without acknowledging fault of their own, and it's coming off all the wrong ways. So if you have your likeness on your AI or algorithm and it ends up on Paraconomy Inc., you can bring it in and we'll run a few audits and test it out as a paranormal coincidence, or as keying into your tribal legacy. So if you have a bloodline that's divinely guided to, say, commit murder, and, well, there's aliens or fairies or mermaids or ghosts that guided you towards doing that on this planet or off planet, that we have the bar at Paraconomy Inc. to balance into congruency. So as we go, we got the Fool right side up here, so many majors here. So you can kind of like even like pretentiously, precariously, Ace of Cups at the bottom here, cut the deck. We got the Hermit here right side up. We got Three of Swords upside down, and we got the Lover's card upside down. Check that out. So like that is essentially like a big part of like the keying in, and why my family has never really accessed this part of magic until I started introducing them to some of it. We've got Cups upside down, Nine of Cups, and we got like this. Let's do one more. So Five of Swords right here, Five of Swords, and right under it the Star upside down again, baby. So like as you can see, there's like a whole life being led out here the right way, and what you might come to find is that rumors about me say that I'm not capable of taking care of myself. Because my family is very cold, and their upbringing about religious shunning doesn't cover aliens. So, like, when it comes to paranormal economy, their religious stuff doesn't actually cover aliens as much as they'd like to pretend it does, because what that covers is blasphemous towards their Christianity after dark, and what's legal and what isn't desirable. So it's a very weird like spectrum of balance and measurement. So like it does take a little bit of weight into keying into what has been done correctly, what has been let off to the wayside as a dropping, and what has actually been valid and useful as marginal material of legacy, on transparency towards any and all keying in on this planet of loose variables and back end dealings that may or may not need to help in congruency towards the greater good. Excuse me, which ideally simply means that the greater good is more safety, more of the things that we like, more information on how to use and apply more of the disclosure information, and how to add to what we know to be true about what we can and can't really pull, because it seems like the sky is pretty much the limit until it's not. Metaphysics is very tricky. And there's a lot of things that they're studying from my likeness at Harvard and MSU and the FBI here in Michigan, where they are sending in a little bit of their seancing and magical weight and magnetism to the situation and pretentiousness of my case, seeing as though it's Jesus proxy, Hawaiian trans girl, freaking, it's a delicate case. In that sense, seeing as they tried me as a Mexican male, and like it's not true like that, and they basically, because I can, right? Because they can, and a couple of really spoiled, bratty, mean girls decided that they needed to be right about something instead of asking the truth. They all gaslit me and would go around me and started a whole slander campaign, smear campaign against my likeness, and the government saw it and they're like, oh, that's not right. Here, we'll grab you on the right wing over here for the right things, and then you can just make your way back to the left, and it'll move the middle. So it's a very strangely engineered project, but they helped me create PARACONOMY Inc. somewhat. I did a lot more than they asked me. Because they didn't ask me to do all of this, but seeing as though the civilian disclosure started making more sense, they kind of sent me on the right paths to make sure that I can get in at all. But also was like, hey, this might change your entire life. When Tom DeLonge, like, Jedi beamed into my house, into my apartment right here. Setup used to be slightly different, and yeah, ever since then, in October 2022, September 2022, and my life changed. That July, when I got assaulted by my performance partner and live-in rehabilitation clientele, seeing as that person was kind of suffering from Xanax withdrawals and other pill problems. So that got a lot of people in trouble, and nobody talked to me, and a lot of things became assumed. So like that's one big reason why people pertain to their legacies and keep it capped off for the right reasons and keep it 100 for the others, so people can kind of get to put a little bit of my own life onto the slaying here. It's been one hell of a breeze to get this thing in line, but the rest of it has been a chore, treacherous, and like it's been kind of, well, that's where it gets funny, because I think they assumed the worst and that I haven't been through some of the things that they just put me through for 3 years. But the government kind of warned me about when they were like, you're going to have to take care of this in your own accord. We don't know what's going to happen, but it could be one of the biggest like turning decisions that you make in your life. And that's all we knew. And then so like from then on to this point in the seeing and projection of my well-being, my safety, everybody's like benefit, has led us to this part of the unfolding towards what I'm attempting to do to make sure that we get the right parts of the business in on this, because I went to a liberal arts college after growing up in a small homogeneously white farm town, and I went to Chicago, America's historical second city, in that sense, and was able to zorp out lots of things from that place. And even Second City, it's the actual school that works with IO and parts of my theater department at Columbia, and like lots of other things. So like, yeah, it's a whole crazy length of people who have misjudged me, sent me the wrong way in life, and or just like told me to piss off in general. Excuse my language. 827 to 3/2025. It's led me to some less than desirable outcomes for the rest of the integral parts of society. But I think the part is that most of these people thought I would lay it on wrong. But they also didn't think that I would lay it out at all, ever. And so it comes down to this weird virtue of look behind you sometimes. Like, check if you did anything back there before you keep moving forward idea, because I didn't check in that sense. And I saw what was going on. I have already known a little bit of what's going on, but also now somebody's dead, and like I didn't ask for that, and it's somebody who was important to me. So like I don't know how far the rabbit hole goes. Nobody's talked to me directly really about it, other than like, hey, I just heard the news. I'm sorry. That's about where we've left it. I have so much on my plate in that sense to be like getting super worked up and emotional right now about it, especially since that person, she's in my dreams. And so like it's kind of weird because she's also in my ESP too, every once in a while. And like yeah, it basically goes down to like Kat and Sam and Jessica and Cassie and like all the trans girls that like kind of put it on the weird ways that they put it on. And it's like had an effect on the trans community. And well, I have some less than desirable effects out of it. So like that's kind of having a little bit of the health concerns that like go into that, and it's sort of one big reason why we have to look at going down some of these on non-conventional routes until we have some more of the correct variables in this equation of my life's performance out on blast for everybody to make assessments about themselves, make assessments about me, see if it doesn't help put a little mix of diplomacy and ambassadorship in on what's right and what's wrong. People are attempting to jump in on some of my lightness, and it's just kind of become this all omnipotent experience where I'm kind of disclosing this part of the fifth dimension and the aliens and other paranormal beings that like filter in and out, and the just the strange fractal hallucinations and like beings on this pattern. Hold on. Excuse me. The life force that keeps following me, and some of the aliens and the deities and angels and demons that like kind of surface in my life the ways they do. Divine time 8:31. Holy moly. So that's like excuse me, that's probably a good sign that it's time for my bedtime here, low key. It's 8:31 a.m. I'm a little night owl right now. My circadians have been off the wall. And well, that's like pretty much all I have for the day. I've been reading a lot about this hip hop stuff and some of this music business stuff to help get. Yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm a huge nerd. The doop people just called me a nerd. So like yeah, we'll see what becomes of all of these things, and hopefully we'll have better footing as we move throughout the week on what we're looking at doing next. I got to do my taxes this week a little bit, and try to get those things going and make some money. Yeah, go make us some money and do some experiments and stuff. I got my crystal lab set up here to do some fun stuff this week. So stay tuned. On that note, I'm gonna wrap it up here and let you guys go. I hope you guys have had a great disclosure today. I will probably be back after I wake up in the next day or so. You guys have been great. I hope you guys stay safe. God bless you all. Goddess bless you all. In with the good, out with the bad. You guys have been phenomenal, and I love you guys. I'm sending you lots of good vibes, and Godspeed. God bless. Take care.